Hello everyone, welcome back to another Java video. It's been a while since I uploaded a video, but here it is. We are on our string unit and we're going to be talking about some string-based solution. This is question 12 from our string worksheet. It's about Scrabble points. Given a string user input, we're going to determine the Scrabble score of the input. And if you've ever played Scrabble before, this is the point system. So if we're given a word, we analyze each individual letter and then we give it the points total that it requires. Okay. And when we use this type of code, the annoyance would be that we would have to analyze each character individually by saying, is this character equal to this or that or that? It creates instance of where we can actually have to write a lot, like 26 different comparison statements, which is something that we're trying to avoid. So we're going to be using some handy dandy string based methods for us so that we can start to lessen that kind of the number of conditional statements that we can make. So right now I just have it set it up like this, right? We have our string word as our input, and then we're going to be following this point system. So here we go. So to start off of, we're going to need a integer score variable. We're going to initialize that to 0. And our goal is to really systematically go through the individual characters in Word. And every time we encounter a special group of characters, we're going to increase it by 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, or even 10. All right. For us to analyze individual characters, we can use a for each array, for each loop where we use a character array to do so. But for this question, I'm just going to stick to our classic using a for loop with an integer value so that we can look at each character at certain index. So we're going to say integer I is equal to 0, while our I is less than the length of our word. So we're going to say that less than the length of the word. And then we want to increase our I at every, we're going to increase our I by 1 at every loop. So we can say char current character. I'm just going to call it current. We're going to call that word char at this index of I. So we have grabbed that character. Okay. Now, to get a single point, it can be any one of those capital letters that I've mentioned, which is very annoying to do. Like annoying to check individually if the character is this, that, or blank. So what we want to do is actually utilize the index of. Right. So we can say if something is true, we can say that score is going to be increasing by 1. So that's our goal. So we need to know what that truth statement would be. So we want to analyze current, okay? And instead of writing a bunch of equal to operators, we're going to say that we have this collection of characters, right? All the characters that belong to the 1 point system there. And we're going to ask index of current. We're going to be running this type of code. We're going to say that on this string, I want to look for the index of this character. And if that is not equal to -1, that means that we have a character, right? This current is able to generate an index value where it is within this set of characters. Therefore, the result of our index of method was not -1, so we got to increase the score. Right? And this is the end of for loop. And after that for loop is over, after we do a whole bunch of other if statement conditions, we can just say that system.out.println the score is, put a little space there for score for word. Right? So we can actually have a score like so. All right. So we're going to output the score here. And this was able to handle the single character that would give you a score of 1. And we just have to really repeat this multiple times for all the other groups of characters. So if you really want it for the 2s and the 1s, you can actually utilize the equivalent operator, which I want to show you now. So if you can say that if current is equal to a character D, because we have to use single quotation marks here because we're dealing with characters, or is equal to G per se, we can increase our score variable by 2 like so. Okay, but if you feel that we now need to look for many different characters, then instead of the current equals, we can actually run the BCMP index of current doesn't equal -1. Then in this case, we're going to increase score by 3. Like that. And so on. We're going to say if we have a string of FHVWY index of current doesn't equal -1 here. So we have so many characters, we're going to be increasing that by 4. In the other one, we can say else if. We can say current is equivalent to a character of K. All right, we don't need to do any fancy ones there, so we can do a plus equal 5. Else if we can hit that with the current is equal to J or current is equal to X. You want to utilize that this is a logical OR, so we are going to combine multiple comparison statements together rather than saying, hey, is current equal to J or X, but rather than saying, is this statement true or is this statement true, which we talked about in our previous conditional units. And we can say here it's going to go up by 8. And then lastly, we can copy the system over and say that if it were to equal to Q and Z, oh, sorry. So Q and Z, we're just gonna go up by 10. All right, so let's test this out. We could say Java C Q12.java unclosed literal BCMP. Oh, this should be a string. Oh, these should be a string, not character. There we go. Let's run this code. If I were to enter like hello, we would get 8 for hello. So let's see. H is here. That's going to give us 4. E is here. That's 5. L is here. That's 6. L is here again. 7. And O is here. That's +1. So we do get a score of 8. Okay, so as long as any of these statements become true, we will be adding the respective scores that each individual character belongs to. It either belongs to this group, 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 and they will be getting their respective score. And this is how we can calculate the Scrabble score of any string input that we can give by writing something like this. Okay, thank you for watching and stay classy.